We're live.
Sorry. Good evening, everyone. This is a call to order to the Board of Education Committee for Personnel and Contracts. Tonight is Tuesday, February 28, 2023, 6:30 p.m. And for our committee members, we have Joseph Lombard, Joseph Sokolovic, and Mr. Albert Benahan. And then we also have all of our staff. Thank you all for joining us tonight. At this moment, I noticed that is missing here is our meeting minutes on the agenda. What we'll do is we'll go right into the agenda, which is discussion and possible action on entering to a contract with RISAP for Barnum School. I don't see the meeting minutes, so we can't approve them because they're not on here. I'm not sure who has this item. Okay. I'm not sure who the staff person is. It could be Miss Clark for the RISAP item. Okay, so Tim, do you know if Miss Clark is joining us?
I believe she is. So I'm gonna see if I can call her in. 1 second.
Okay. All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move from the first two items because they both are contract items for the school. So I'm gonna leave them be, and we'll move to number 3, which is presentation of the organizational chart, so supervisor roles and responsibilities. This is Ms. Dixon.
Good evening, everyone. I hope you all enjoyed the snow.
No.
True. I believe that charts were sent out to everyone in advance showing, I know one of the requests made last time was a breakdown of central offices, the number of members attached or under central office. So that, should have been sent out to you guys already. And I believe that updated work organizational chart should have been sent out to you. I know our office along with the superintendent's office was working on the updating the one we had looked at the last date.
Okay, I know this was Albert's request to see it in detail. Albert, is there any other questions for this detail? Was this detailed enough for you to see, or if we could pull it up on the screen? Can someone send that to Sam if we need to pull it up? But I'm not sure if there needed to be any more discussion on it. I know you want to see what it looked like on a deeper level. Go ahead, Mr. Benahan.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know you were asking a question. Yeah, I would like to see in the screen how they look like, if it's possible.
Sam, do you have that document?
I do not.
Okay. Well, Albert, it's in your portal. So it's in the portal. So if you want to take a look at it, and if there's any questions you would like to ask Ms. Dixon while she's here, please do that. I'm going to go to Mr. Lombard to see if he has any questions. If not, I'll come back to you. Mr. Lombard.
I'm unable to access any of the documents for tonight's meeting.
Okay. So, Mr. Sokolovic, do you have any questions on the document provided? You're on mute.
Yeah, I don't have it. I'm trying to find it in the packet.
Madam Chair.
I didn't see today's date listed in the portal.
It should be listed under there. So hold on 1 second. Let me double check.
Mm-hmm. Or if Tim or someone could just pull it up. If there are any questions on that document.
I'm looking for it in my computer as well.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead, Albert. You have a question?
Yes, I'm trying to see it in the package, but I don't see it either.
Tim is taking a look. I'm on two different devices, so I couldn't pull it up. That's why I would have added it to the screen, but I'm on two different devices.
That's not-
I see the folder now.
Okay. Let me know if there's any questions on the outline that Ms. Dixon provided. You see it, Albert? Mr. Benahan, I'm sorry.
Give me 1 second. I'm trying to look at it.
It's not included in the folder.
Okay. All right.
I cannot see him in my Chair. I don't see him in my folder. I didn't receive it.
Is there any way, Tim, you can give if Ms. Dixon was able to find
Yes.
it? right,
So
that
yes.
she could-
Yeah, so if you send it over to me, I'll put it in the portal. It must be something where the Arlene, the emergency of Arlene not being here, it was not put in the package. So let's so if you send it over to me, I'll put it in right now, so everyone can get it.
Okay.
Thank
All
you.
right. So while she's doing that, are you guys okay if I move to the next agenda item and we can come back to that one? Is everyone okay with that? Yeah. Okay. The next one is discussion and possible referral to the full board for approval and agreement with the BEA Special Education Service Support for Teachers. I'm not sure who's presenting on this item. Is that you, Ms. Dixon?
Repeat it one more time.
This is the agreement with the BEA for Special Educational Services for Teachers, for support for teachers.
I'm not sure what agreement, if it's, I would have addressed if it had anything to do with the MOUs.
Okay. And then there's another one, discussion and possible referral for BEA for bilingual support services for teachers.
Yes, those, okay, yes.
Okay. I know, so those are yours.
Right, well, those are mine, and Ms. Sosa Martins is also here. So, right, those are the last year we did we had created 2 MOUs with the BEA, and they were geared towards cross endorsements again. So the first one for the special ed department, we created we sought out the veteran teachers who would be interested and willing to get their cross endorsement in special education. With that, we paid for them to go through I believe it was the ARC program, which is a 1-year program. In addition, we gave everyone who successfully took on a role, teaching position in the special ed department, 2-step increase in the salary, as well as if they were at the top step, I believe it was $7,500 increase in salary. And then again, all members signed an MOU. The union and the district signed the MOU. And then each teacher who agreed to this signed a promissory note indicating that they special ed was for 3 years, that they agreed that they would maintain employment with the city of Bridgeport, Bridgeport Public Schools as a special ed teacher for 3 years. At the completion of 3 years, the monies paid out by the district would be done and over. However, if at any point prior to the 3 years they left the district or chose not to continue teaching special ed, then they would have to offset the cost of the courses that the district paid, or the ARC program. So we are hoping to continue that again for this upcoming year.
Thank you. Ms. Martin, would you like to add to this before I turn to Mr. Lombard?
I just wanted to add to what Ms. Altro Dixon said about, we have 9 teachers enrolled in an alternate route to certification for either bilingual or ESL. or TESOL. And the program is a 1-year program. So we're hoping that we can fill some of our vacancies with these candidates that have completed the program. The only issue that I encounter, and this is just additional information for all of you to know, is that some of them are pursuing just the TESOL cross endorsement, and they don't speak another language, so they can't pursue the bilingual. So that may still continue to be a shortage area for us for next year. But what I foresee in terms of ESL, we will have certified teachers for ESL.
Okay. Mr. Lombard, for any questions? You're on mute.
Well, yeah, so this sounds very similar to what we discussed last night with math and science. So this is in this case, it's a continuation of something we've already been doing, right? And do you just happen to know about how many teachers went through this last year for the special ed?
For the special ed, I believe we had I believe we have 9 who completed the who are enrolled in the ARC program and made the transition to special ed.
And about how many are we targeting for this year?
As many as possible.
Many as possible.
I would, again, 10 seems to be a good number.
Mhm.
It's a manageable number, but like I indicated yesterday, I'm not going to turn away people if we're able to accept more and work around what topic they're teaching now.
Is there faculty that's already expressed an interest in doing it this year coming up?
I don't know. We have a parallel program also, which I think there's more where interest has been more vocal. We have another fellow partnership with Southern, where we're having paraprofessionals enrolled in school courses to become teachers for special ed. So that one is it's more vocal, the interest. I have not heard that much about anyone interested in the special ed, but we haven't pushed it out yet.
And how many shortages do we have?
Special ed, I want to say we have, I just saw that. We should probably have at least 10 to 12 special ed vacancies.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Let the record reflect Ms. Baptiste Perez, and I saw your hand up, so I don't know if you have a question for Ms. Dixon.
Well, thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Lombard did ask some of the questions I had.
Okay.
In terms of the 9 special ed teachers that did the program and are now in it, is it the same 3-year commitment? To be honest, I haven't looked at the contract or the MOU, but is it the same 3-year as the math and science that we discussed yesterday at the regular board meeting?
Yes.
And so far, all 9 are still teaching special ed in the district?
So far.
Okay. And we wouldn't find out till June just to check their commitment to see if they're going to continue to teach special ed, right?
Unless they decide to opt out sooner, right? We probably won't know until when the request for transfers get. They have until they can submit a request to transfer positions or apply to vacant positions.
Okay, but like they could still be a special ed teacher in one building, but want to switch buildings. So
Yes.
That's still applicable within the terms. So we'll just
That's
have to wait
fine.
and see.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Sokolovic,
No questions.
Mr. Benahan.
No question this moment, Madam Chair.
Okay. Is there anything else you would like us to share on this item, Ms. Dixon, before we move to move it?
I want to say, because this topic was discussed for the math and science about what support we're giving these teachers as they transition into new areas. The special ed program was our first attempt, and we're learning from what worked and didn't work. And that is one of the reasons why we really believe that we have to push for a focus to ensure that the teachers who are making the leap into this new area, that they have the support that goes beyond just new teachers and things like that. They may be veteran teachers, but they're taking on some of them entirely different topic. So we definitely are focusing on ensuring ongoing support and professional development for them, and we'll continue to do so as well.
Okay. If there are no further questions, Mr. Lombard, would you like to make a motion?
Yes, but before I do, I just want to ask, I believe with the math and science, it was for middle school, high school. This is for all grade levels, the special ed?
Yes, for all grade levels.
Oh, okay. So I don't have the agenda in front of me. Hold on 1 minute. Let me pull it up so I get the wording. Sorry.
And there are two separate items, so you have to read.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So there's two of them.
All right. Motion to refer. Gosh, it just shrunk. A motion to refer to the full board to approve an agreement with the BEA for special education services support for teachers.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Hearing none. I'll make sure it's on the agenda. Go ahead, Mr. Lombard.
And then a motion to refer to the full board to approve the agreement with the BEA for bilingual support services for teachers.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Hearing none. I'll make sure it's added onto the agenda. So thank you, ladies, for sharing. And please be prepared to present again once it's on the regular board meeting. Doesn't have to be the full thing, but enough so everyone knows what's going on. All right. So let's go back up to the agenda. I'm just gonna see again if the staff members have come on for the two contracts, which is discussion and possible action on entering into a contract with the RISEF for Barnum School. Tim, did we find staff to present on this item?
Yes, apologies.
Oh, hi, Ms. Clark.
Hi, apologies. I got a cancellation for this meeting. I'm obviously not feeling that well either. Sorry for causing any delays. So we have two items. One is the RISAP contract, which is under the school improvement grant for Barnum. We're looking to continue services from RISAP. They were in their first year for restorative practices and student success advocate, and that's in the amount of $76,553.
Okay. Are there any questions, Mr. Lombard, concerning this particular agenda item?
I didn't have the opportunity to read through it since this just came on the packet. So I don't have any questions. I did just hear about it, please.
And this
Wait,
is a sorry.
Go ahead.
No, this is a continuation of work that happened in the first year of this grant. This is the second year of the grant. So they're hoping to retain some of the services which was written into their proposal.
Any other questions, Mr. Sokolovit?
Yes, this one. Are there any material changes between the contract last year and this year?
We did send it over to legal. They did make some minor updates, but nothing specific that changed what would happen for RISAP in terms of reporting and executing any of their work. If I would say anything, it's a little bit tighter in terms of us, making sure they're staying engaged.
Thank you.
Mr. Benahan?
No questions. Thank you.
Ms. Baptiste Perez?
I did not have a chance to look at the contract, but if this is just a continuation from the previous year, but this is a completely new contract, right?
Correct, because we're getting the second year of funding.
Okay. And that makes sense why it would go through legal.
Yeah.
I just have a comment that if this goes before the full board, maybe someone from RISAP can be there to present how the success with the first year actually went. I believe I recall when it was passed
Yes.
previously on the board, and
Mhm.
I think I recall the principal and someone else coming up to speak about the necessity of the program. But I'd like to know what was done, what impact it has had on the school year. I do hear, oh, it's just more money, but how is the money being used? Or maybe
Mhm.
like just a brief presentation,
Okay.
just to support the continuation or a second contract.
Okay, and you would like a presentation solely from RIASAP, or you want a dual with the principal and RIASAP?
It can be dual.
Okay,
I just want to know, like, we're getting a return on an
our investment.
investment,
Yeah.
just what are we getting out of it? And by the time it comes to the full board, I'll actually read through the full contract.
Okay. Yes, I will make sure that both parties are available for that meeting. The executive director of RISAP is very involved in programming, and he was at the prior meeting that you're mentioning, Ms. Batiste Perez. So I don't think it should be a problem for him and the principal. And in this case, is if you approve both of these to move forward, the principal from BMA to also provide the same, if that's your wish.
It'd be nice. Just
I don't,
wanna see.
yeah,
Thank
I
you.
don't have any major comments. Mine would be the same as Ms. Baptiste Perez. I do recall this contract coming before us in the very beginning. So I'm interested to see how well did it work out with our students. I don't know, is there anyone else that has any questions, comments concerning this agenda item? No? So I don't know, Mr. Lombard, I know you didn't get a chance to read it. I don't know if you feel comfortable with making the motion.
I do, based upon Mr. Sokolovic's question and the answer to his question, that there are no
Okay.
material changes, so yes.
Okay.
So, okay, so make a motion to refer to the board for approval of entering into contract with RISAP for Barnum School.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Hearing none, I'll make sure it's added to the agenda. The next item is discussion and possible action on entering into a contract with RISAP for Dunbar. So, Ms. Clark, this is probably the same thing, but if you could just give us an update on this.
Correct. And I misspoke when I said BMA. BMA originally had some thoughts of having a contract with them, which is why we have a blank line in the middle that was eventually removed. So we do have Dunbar. At the time when we submitted this, of course, we were waiting for the interim principal. That's why the school lead is listed as 2BD on their packet, but that will be updated before it goes to the main board. The award that we're hoping to give to RISAP is for $83,203. They're hoping to engage a restorative practices facilitator. This is a continuation of their first year work as well. I believe there's been a really great relationship with the person who was there. They came back and hoping to continue additional work. It's been very helpful, I think, for all of the schools with the work that RISAP is very involved in, and it would be a boon for this to be also approved.
All right, Mr. Lombard, any questions?
No.
Mr. Sokolovic, any questions?
Nope.
Mr. Benahan, any questions?
No, Madam Chair.
Ms. Baptiste Perez, any questions? Did she say no? I didn't hear.
No.
Okay, all right, so Mr. Lombard, would you feel comfortable making the motion?
Sure. I guess I should ask same question as before. No material changes to last year's contract?
Correct. We sent both of these contracts to legal. They reviewed, made any necessary changes, and we have moved forward with that new template.
Okay, thank you. In that case, I make a motion to move to the full board to approve entering into a contract with RISAP for Dunbar School.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Hearing none, I'll make sure it's added to the agenda. The last item on this agenda is just a presentation. Ms. Dixon, they did provide the update in the portal. So if you just want to maybe briefly explain the reasoning behind the breakdown of the numbers, because I don't think they did a graph this time. This is just the number breakdown. You're on mute.
Thanks. Okay, so what this is just a breakdown of each department and the amount of staff assigned. Now, these are just full-time employees assigned to the central offices. So as you can see, facilities have 7 employees that ranges from custodian title, clerical titles to George Garcia, things like that. Then all of these, they are not staff that are in the schools. They are not part-time staff. They're not hourly staff. So these are the full-time staff members assigned to central offices.
Okay, I will open up the floor for questions concerning this document. Mr. Lombard, any questions for Ms. Dixon?
No questions, thank you.
I see you, Mr. Benahan. Any questions for Ms. Dixon?
Yes, Madam Chair. Thank you. I'm Ms. Dixon.
How are you?
Good. I see facility 7. I was in shock when facility, they do some amazing jobs, you know, with so many schools, and they need staff. They need more people. And having nutrition center 23 people. So, you know, feel that facility need more people that nutrition center. Of course, we need staff, but you know, I was in shock for that. But I have a question. I'm sorry for my bird. He's happy. When you put a superintendent's office, you put 3 people, right? That's me, 3 people full time, right?
Yes.
Because I know we have Miss Arlene Santo, we got Wanda Torres, and now we got Sims. But if we have a young lady, she do that part time.
Right.
She's going to school, so it's not going to be 3.5 doesn't mean that the 0.5 doesn't mean part time, right?
When you see the 0.5 down below, that means they share a person.
Okay.
So since
I thought that person was like a part time.
No. So Miss Olivia in the superintendent's office is a part-time. But to go back to what you pointed about the facilities, now this is just the number of staff in the facility at the facility's main office.
Okay.
This is not including all of the staff at the different schools and things like that. That's why the number seems low. And at the nutrition center, right, we have a lot of staff there with the warehouse and all these other people who do work from the nutrition center itself.
Yeah, I understand. It's like you have exactly 8 people in your office work for the other district.
Right.
Okay. All right. But I thought the chart, you're gonna do it like the same time, you know, the same one you did last time. So I was confused. I see this. I say, okay, why I'm confused? Why, you know, that will look so different that you did it the last time. That's why.
Well, because they did create the updated organizational chart. But when you asked, you wanted to know the number of employees or staff members in each department. For me, it made more sense to put it in this type of document rather than on the work org chart.
Okay.
All
No more
right.
question, Madam Chair, for now. Thank you.
No
Thank you,
problem.
Ms. Dixon. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Mr. Sokolovic, any questions?
No questions at this time, thank you.
Ms. Baptiste Perez, any questions?
No questions at this time.
All right, so is there anything else within this presentation, Ms. Dixon, you would like to share to the board? No?
I don't know. I think the number, like I said, the numbers are reflective of the full-time staff members in each department.
I don't have a question, but more so of a comment. I believe this was brought up. It was either at the last meeting or at the regular board meeting that we make sure that these are updated on a as positions are shifting and individuals are shifting. I think Mr. Lombard brought this up, that it could be on our website, and then as a person moves out, it changes. So that this way, anytime a board member wants to see how the organizational chart is shifted, we'll be able to just go up there and see it in real time. So that was one of the questions that was brought up, because I think as we lose people, add people, it gets confusing as to who's doing what, who's reporting to who. But it's good if the board is able to see it in real time.
So, right, so we did discuss that, and we will have, once we finalize and everyone is approves the work, the organizational chart, that will be updated to our the Bridgeport Public Schools website, and if there's a change in guards, like right now, one of the if there's a change in the supervisors, then it will be updated.
Okay. All right. That pretty much concludes our agenda, unless I missed anything, but I think I've covered everything. So I am going to entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any
Aye.
abstentions? Hearing none. Everyone have a good night. Stay safe and thank you.
Good
Thank
night,
you.
everyone.
Good night.
Good
God bless
Good
you all.
night.
God bless you all. Bye-bye.